Hello, investors. It's another episode of Beyond Properties and Profit, and I'm glad you could join us. I am Bright Bassi, and I'll be your host for today's episode. Today's topic is a very interesting topic as we will be speaking on a very controversial issue, which is owning land is more profitable to owning a house. I won't be speaking on this topic alone as I am privileged to be seated with two great men in the real estate community. Join me celebrate to my right Mr. Oluwafemi Ewebajo, who is the General Manager of Trusted Choice Assets and a real estate expert. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And to my left, I have Mr. Tope Olubumi, a real estate consultant and expert. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so before we dive into the main discussion of today, I would like you to, in your own words, tell me the difference between or what you understand by owning land and owning a house. In just few words, what do you understand by it? I'll start with Mr. Oluwafemi.
All right. Thank you very much once again. So, owning a land and owning a house, they are both real estate, but the difference is that you would actually own a piece of the earth first before you now own a house. So, the first step in real estate is to own a land, to own a piece of the earth. And then you can now go forward, you can take it further by now putting a structure on that land, um, either a house or building, anything at all whatsoever. All right. So the difference is just that owning a land is you are acquiring first a piece of the earth, and then owning a house, you are going further into construction.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And he said, Mr. Oluwafemi said that owning a land is simple. It's owning a piece of the earth, and owning building is owning structure. That's very insightful. So, Mr. Temitope, please, what do you understand by the real difference between, in your own words, what is the real difference between owning land and owning, a house?
Okay. Thank you so much for having me once again. So, the difference between owning a land and owning a house. There's not really much difference except that before you can build a house, before you can build a structure, you actually need something to build on.
Okay.
So, that is the land. So, I will just put it simply like that.
So you are sticking with what Mr. Oluwafemi said.
Yes, actually.
Okay, so Mr. Oluwafemi also mentioned that owning land and house is still under the real estate body, right?
Yeah, he's right.
Yeah,
He's
it's
right.
under the real estate body. But there's always this competition and debates between which is more profitable. So that takes me to my next question. So within between these two, which historically has proven to be more, profitable? Which would you say and why? Mr. Oluwafemi, please.
All right. So both are profitable, if you ask me. But it depends on quite a number of factors. And so for you to say one is actually more profitable than the other, it depends on the investor and who is investing and what factors to be considered. And such factors first include the location, your location, right? And then secondly, you can talk about your budget. How much do you have? That goes a long way in determining whether you want to just own a land
And
or have a structure built on it. So if you have the funds to own the land and also build on it, then it's fine. All right. Then, like I said, location also matters. What location are you looking at? Is it a prime location? Is it a developing area? So those are the things to consider. Then thirdly, investment time frame. How long are you willing to stay before you start making returns on that investment? Because both are investments, all right? So how long are you willing to stay before you start reaping the dividends of that investment. So if you can, the investor can answer these questions correctly, then it will be easy to choose between owning a land or a house. But for me, I think I will go with owning a land. And here are my reasons, right? First of all, if I own a land, an expanse of land, I really do not have to worry about some things. I don't have to worry about construction. I don't have to worry about paying taxes. I don't have to worry about putting up vacancies. I don't have to worry about so many other liabilities that comes with having a structure or owning a building. All right. So I just buy the land. I probably do my papers, my documents, perfect the documents. If I want to go the extra mile, I could just fence it round and then leave it there for a couple of years for it to appreciate. All right. And then after a couple of years, by the time I'm selling it off, I'll definitely not be selling it at the same amount I bought. And of course, I'll be making my money back in bulk. All right, that's another thing. So, but if I'm to consider a building, all right, I would probably be collecting rent on a daily, on a monthly or yearly basis, which is not bad. But then I'll have to deal with some other issues like expenses, yeah, like taxes to government. What do you call it? Tenement rate? No, sorry. Um, there's this thing that government brings every year. Land use charge, right? And then, of course, you know that by the time a building comes on that land, especially if you now have C of O, it starts counting. So, and after that 99 years, government has the right to take over the land. But if I just have the land there, I didn't put anything on it, I mean, it's mine for as long as I want to use it. And again, I could just while the land is there, I could use it for some other things other than building. I could use it for farming. I could build on. I could plant on it. I could have a poultry on it, and that would still be giving me income as far as I'm concerned. So, for me, I really would not want to go into owning a house. I'd rather just buy the expanse of land, leave it, let it appreciate, and then sell it off at a good amount when I'm ready to.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Mr. Temitope, I'd like to know historically which of these do you think has appreciated in value and
Okay,
why?
okay. Thank you for having me once again. So, historically, um, the two have been profitable, but for me, I will prefer to have a house than having a land.
Okay,
And why is that? I prefer to have my money working for me easily, my money coming in for me, you
okay,
know, every time, monthly, yearly. So I'll know that okay, I am seeing my assets, I am seeing the money I invested into is coming,
okay,
and I can literally use the funds to do something else, and not me getting my landed assets down and waiting 10, 20. No, I don't have that patience.
okay. So, is it safe to say that you are saying that people that build are people that lack patience to wait for their land to appreciate in value and sell later?
Well, the thing is that it depends on the type of investor that you have, actually. And coming from the investor aspect, there are some types of investors that prefer to have the landed assets down and wait the 10 years, wait the 20 years, and watch it grow till they're ready to sell it. And I don't blame them for that. I don't dispute the fact that that is also good. But for the type of investor that I am, coming from my own preference, and other type of investor that are like me, I believe we prefer that okay, we have our assets down, we build houses on the lands that we've gotten
Okay,
for rental incomes, shortlets, and different other sources that this house itself will be bringing in for us, so that we can at least Imagine I invested my 20 million naira into building an apartment, which I know that at least in 10 years, the time that I'm using to wait for a land, I could literally get it back and even more.
Wow. Okay.
So I will
That's
actually prefer that coming in for me. And for a family man that I am, come on, I have children fees to sort out, and that is already helping me to do that easily.
I get you, sir. Okay.
So
Okay, that's nice. That's true. So now, moving on to the next question, sirs. People often say that land never depreciates, and now you said, "Is do you think this is a universal law?" And when I say universal, I mean, do you think it is applicable to every area? Do you think that thing people say that land never depreciates? Do you think it's universal? Do you think the same way lands in Lagos never depreciate is the same way land in the thick village never depreciates? Do you think it's universal? And do you also feel like buildings, people say lands don't depreciate, they add value, and buildings depreciate. Now, do you think it's universal? Like, meaning, is it the same everywhere?
Okay, so I would say it is universal. Land has never depreciated, it keeps appreciating. So it doesn't matter where the land is, right? It keeps appreciating. So even a place you would call forest, there are some places in Lagos that were once forests that have turned into cities. And so if you price a piece of land in those places that used to be forest, you would know that land keeps appreciating. So any day, anytime, land will always keep appreciating. It doesn't matter where the land is. Although the rate of appreciation may differ from one location to another, but of course, land keeps appreciating everywhere. So when I say rate of appreciation, a piece of land in Lekki, for example, all right, would appreciate faster than a piece of land in remote, in like a remote place, like you understand,
Yes.
all right. So, and these are some of the factors that will make it appreciate faster. First, Lekki is already developed, social amenities, I mean, infrastructure is there, good road, electricity, and all that. So, all those things are what makes land to appreciate faster. All right. So, but in a place where there are no infrastructures yet, no electricity, no good road, of course, you don't expect that kind of land to appreciate as much as the one that already has amenities and infrastructures. But any day, anytime, land will always appreciate. Yeah,
So you're saying it's based on the location.
based on the location. Yeah.
Okay, so the way you believe that land appreciating is universal, do you also believe when people say that buildings depreciate in value? Do you think it's also universal?
Okay, so for buildings, I won't say buildings depreciate in value. All right, buildings also appreciate in value, but then it depends on what you are doing to that building. All right. So a building that is left 20, 30 years, no renovation has been done on it. Of course, you can't say it has appreciated in value. It is depreciating. Why? Because there are probably some cracks. There are some water leaking somewhere. I mean, pumps or pipes leaking somewhere. Some, I mean, varieties of things to fix. And so if you're not doing that, of course, it's rather depreciating instead of appreciating. So for you to say building is appreciating, you must have been renovating. You must have been incurring some expenses on it. And that's why I said earlier that I would rather pick a land because I don't want to go through the stress of the income that I think I'm generating from rent from that building. I end up using it to renovate the building.
Okay.
All right. If I'm not even lucky enough to have good tenants or good facility managers who can manage it properly for me, I'll probably end up using every income I've earned from that building on renovating it to put it back in shape. All right, but because if I don't do that, it will rather it will be dilapidating, and if I want to resell, I won't be able to resell at a very good value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. So, Mr. Timitope, do you believe that when they say buildings depreciate in value, do you believe it is true universally? What do you have to say?
Okay. So to me, I don't believe buildings appreciate in value, but like you said, it depends on the person that is using it actually. And I love the fact that he said renovations needs to be done. Because if I have I actually love to use myself as an example. If I have an apartment or I have a house that I've been using for 20 years, and I decide that okay, it seems I want to get a very good amount from it again, I can decide to invest some amount in renovating it. And believe me, from the renovation, will you believe that I can actually get more from it by increasing the prices of the rents just from because I believe here in Lagos people actually love luxury. So imagine if I renovate it to look so captivating. Can you believe I can sell it at I can rent it at a very good amount where I will be generating more income to me. So
That's when you situate it to just Lagos, right?
not only in Lagos actually, I just had to use that example of Lagos because there are people in different other states that do that a lot.
So do you think if you build that kind of set up that kind of building in rural areas, like, I'm not mentioning any states, but
Yeah.
you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yes. Do you think that people there will be able to pay for it, be able to afford it?
Mm.
That's where the location comes in.
Yes.
So for you to be able to get more rental income, then you have to also consider the location. So if you're going to do that in a rural area, then no matter what you do there, you will still be underpriced, or the building will still be underpriced or undervalued because the location. So you can actually have a fantastic building, but in a wrong
In the wrong
location.
place. Because if you, I'm not siding anybody, but I'm
Yeah.
saying that if you build, even if the house is as big and fitting for this, this time and season, if you build it in the wrong place, people that will come to you would always underprice you. Do you get? Now, do you feel that if you'll be able to get that kind of money?
Okay. Let me hit you with something. Do you know that even having landed assets in the wrong location can actually lead to your loss
Yeah,
also?
we said that.
So, which means that might not actually appreciate the landed asset too.
Okay.
So, in that aspect, so which means it is
Vice versa.
exactly.
Okay, so we say real estate, owning lands and owning buildings are successful when they are in the right location.
If you are from the beginning, I believe it mentions some factors that actually leads to appreciation, and location was actually part of it, right?
Okay.
And um, I believe that if I want to invest in a house or get a house, I am actually looking at the location before I do.
Okay, so let me do this, sir. You get a land in Banana Island.
Mm.
You also get a piece of land in Banana Island
Okay, good.
at the same time. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And he decides to leave his land and you decide to build on it. Now we know that the location is not the problem now.
Yeah.
What do you think? Who do you think will earn more in the next 10 years? Let's just put it like that. So do you think because if you're building in Banana Island, that's luxury and you are going to set up a very good. So now the location and the people that is benefiting from it is not the question. Do you think that in the next 10 years, what he would earn, you would be able to earn it and even earn over in the next 10 years?
Okay, talking about earning more, we're actually talking about we're actually discussing the competition now, but then I believe me getting building my house in Banana Island is because of my preference. Like I said before, I want to see my money coming in for me. You understand? I want to see it coming in for me. I don't want to wait.
Okay.
And he on the other hand might decide that I don't want to. I prefer to wait and all, but I prefer me getting my money continually
Okay.
will actually build my assets for me.
So, Mr. Oluwafemi, I asked the same question to you again. We both have the same piece of land in Banana Island.
Okay.
Now, location is not the problem.
Yeah.
We have the same piece, but you decided not to build on it. I decided to build, and we know that giving short lets now, a short let, and they pay daily and weekly, and we're talking of millions right now. Now, do you think that when you decide to sell your piece of land in the same location that we have next 10 years or 5 years, you think you would have beaten my profits that I have made in that same piece of land in the same location?
Okay, so I mentioned earlier that my choice of just having the land there and leaving it to appreciate and selling off after a couple of years is the fact that I do not want to incur some other expense, or I do not want to stress my head about some other expenses that accompanies owning a house or having a house, right? And some of those expenses I earlier mentioned,
Yeah.
maintenance. A house in Banana Island, as good as it looks or sounds, is not cheap to maintain. All right. And then also you have to deal with taxes. The bigger the house, the bigger the taxes. Government will come for you. You pay taxes. So I don't need to deal with all that. I don't need to deal with putting up vacancies. I mean, sometimes you put vacancies 2, 3, 4, 5 months, 1 year, 2 years, nobody's coming for the house. It's there and it's just empty. So what has happened?
I think you're looking at the worst case scenario
So
here.
yeah, so but it happens. You have
Let's look at the
with
brighter side.
the brighter side, yes, but
Um,
because if you look around, even in Banana Island we just mentioned, do you think all those houses are occupied? Some are empty, and that is investment tied down. Huge amount of money tied down. So why would I tie down a huge amount of money and the house is empty? Probably because nobody's coming for it. I mean, nobody can afford that. I mean, people who can afford the rent are not coming there. And so sometimes the house is just there, fallow. Meanwhile, on my piece of land, I don't have anything to worry about. I'm not paying taxes on it. I'm not maintaining anything. I'm not giving the land any food to eat, nothing. So all I need to do is just perfect my title documents and leave the land there. And at my own time, when I'm ready, I'll sell it off and make good money. And you remember I also said that I'll make the money at once. I'm collecting the money at once. So I don't
But
have that.
sorry, I think I'll need to cut you
Yes.
short there.
Okay.
But then, do you also know that if you later decide that you want to sell your land, you know that it might actually take some time before you can see the person that will buy it due to the exorbitant price that you sell it at. Are you also looking at that?
If it is exorbitant, I could cut it into. I mean, I could cut the land if it's. I mean, it is too much for an individual or a person to buy. I could divide the land into plots, into sections, and sell them
But
off.
funny enough, that will still take at least some amount of time.
and time
Coming
is
from my own perspective, what is the essence? I prefer that okay, I wait a little more and I get the person that will, rent the apartment or my apartment and give me my money. Awesome. And I've gotten the money I'm waiting for. I use it to do other things.
so you're waiting and he's waiting. Both of you are still taking time. Time is what gives you guys money. Don't you think so?
But I prefer to wait because in the long run, I'll get my money back in bulk.
And I think I prefer to have my own apartment, face to face. I'm there. Let me just look for the.
So what if you have a tenant that has to owe you rent? How do you deal with it?
We actually have principles put in place for that. Me that want to rent an apartment, and me that decide that I want to rent an apartment out. There are actually laws I can put in place to catch that kind of I won't just rent it out. You know, there are laws in Nigeria right now that actually deals with those kind of tenants.
So thank you so much, you guys. You have said a lot, and I'm really inspired. Thank you, Mr. Femi. Thank you, Mr. Tokwe. If we allow this podcast to go on, I don't think we'll end it. So I feel, as I like I said earlier, this topic is a very, very controversial issue, and I don't even think we can ever get to the roots of this. So, viewers, I would like you to, drop whatever you think in the comment section, and I'll be looking forward to reading it and hearing from you. But till next time, I'd like you to like our social media handles and follow us for more interesting episodes like this. Till next time, it was nice having you, Mr. Tokwe. Thank you so much, Mr. Olufumi.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.